I am a wife, I'm a mom, I'm an attorney. I've been a practicing attorney for almost 20 years here at Young Conaway. And I am a social justice advocate. You know, one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life, second only to my family, is the work that I have been honored to do for the LGBT community. As a gay woman, it certainly hits close to home. And I'm old enough now, I turned 50 in March. I'm old enough to remember when I was in college, you know, it was the start of the AIDS crisis. And people were still in the closet, people were starting to die of a mysterious disease. The government wouldn't even acknowledge it was happening. It was terrifying. And so I'm old enough to remember how bad things were and how, you know, not only did our community not have any rights or recognition, but the government wasn't even willing to acknowledge that we were dying. So to come from there to where we are today has been an amazing journey. Equality Delaware grew out of a core group of advocates that had been working for a number of years, first along with the ACLU LGBT Rights Project. And that started in about 2000, give or take, maybe a little earlier than that. And when my wife, Drew Fennell, was the executive director of the ACLU, that project got very active, working to try to pass a sexual orientation non-discrimination bill. And it took 11 years to pass that bill. That's really what's made me, you know, so passionate, is realizing that unless we stepped up and stepped forward and started coming out, working to gain basic, you know, equal protections, it wasn't going to happen. That I couldn't sit back and expect other people to do that work. So DOMA is the Defense of Marriage Act. DOMA was passed in 1996, and it essentially says two basic things. One, it says no state has to recognize a same-sex marriage from another state. And two, it said, and this is the part that the Supreme Court struck down, it said, for all federal purposes, marriage will be limited to one man and one woman. So it prevented the federal government from recognizing valid same-sex marriages that were entered into in a state where marriage is legal. Civil unions provided state-level benefits and protections. Marriage is, number one, important because of the respect and dignity that come with marriage. Marriage is what everyone else gets. And secondly, we believed in our hearts that DOMA was going to fall. And only marriage is recognized at the federal level. There's no such thing as civil unions. So for Delawareans to have the dignity and respect at the national level, as well as all of the protections and obligations that come with marriage, marriage was necessary. I think Delaware is always going to look back with pride and say, we were one of the 12 states that had marriage equality before DOMA was overturned. You know, that's like being, you know, we're pioneers. And we'll always be able to say, we didn't wait for the federal government to say that this type of discrimination was unconstitutional. As Representative Melanie George Smith said on the floor, we do what's right for Delawareans. And that's what our General Assembly did and what our governor did by signing the law. All through doing this work, I get up every day and I say I'm so lucky to live in a time when this sort of change is possible. The biggest thing that people come up and say to me, the most moving thing, is I never thought I would see this happen in my lifetime. I can't tell you the number of people that have said that to me. And to be able to do this work now and make this happen along with a huge team of other people has been really amazing. Just an incredible experience. I grew up on a horse farm. My parents were both totally not involved in politics, of very modest means. My dad grew up here in Wilmington. literally living over the one-room grocery store that his grandparents, that his parents, my grandparents, operated. And if you could have told me that, I would be, doing this work down in the General Assembly, now a member of the DNC, I would have told you were crazy, But it's been a real privilege and an honor, and I'm looking forward to the next piece. For now, I sort of view my life as a three-legged stool. My family, the social justice work that I've been honored to do, and my work as an attorney. And those three things really give me a tremendous amount of pride and fulfillment.